Let me ask you a question. If you've been watching these videos, do I look better with glasses or without glasses? I don't know. Thought I'll wear them in this video. I do wear glasses. I can't see very far, like a sign that's far away, so I wear these, and it makes me easy. It makes it easier for me to see the screens too. But anyway, I wanted to react to this video by Dr. Oz. So if you don't know Dr. Oz, he's not like on the show anymore. He's gotten really into politics, especially when he ran for a senator, lost to Fetterman, but maybe that's a good thing he lost to Fetterman because Fetterman is starting to come around. Maybe he'll become a Republican soon. I don't know, but he is going to California and exposing fraud. So in LA County, out of all the places where there's a lot of illegal Mexicans down there, there's a bunch of fraud going on down there. Surprise, surprise, right? When there are a ton of illegal immigrants, there's always going to be fraud. Sorry, that's just how it is. We can't just let everybody in and sing kumbaya and everybody wants to follow the rules. So he's exposing, it's like a Nick Shirley thing. He's exposing California. This even pissed off Newsom, and he wants to see how the investigation is going. Like, he was trying to file a thing where you can see what their investigation is leading to, which, if it's a federal investigation, he has no control over it. So I don't get why he's even trying to do anything. And he's calling Dr. Oz here racist. Anyway, I wanted to react to this video. I seen it circulate. I haven't reacted to it. So let's see what this fraud looks like.
So you can see these are medical buildings. They've got Cyrillic writing. So you can see these are medical buildings. They've got Cyrillic writing, Russian, Armenian writing. On both sides, there's lots of action, it seems. I don't know how many patients are getting care, but in this 4-block area in Los Angeles, there are 42 hospices. So either there are a lot of people dying here, or you've got a fraudulent activity that is so good that everyone
That's
wants to get in on
crazy.
it.
42. So if you know what hospice is, that's like if you're about to die. That's what that means. There's 42 centers. What?
I'm in Van Nuys in Los Angeles, and this boarded up area above my head here is a big hospice center. There are apparently quite a few hospices around here, 42 within a 4-block
Huh?
radius. And these guys stole $16 million. Listen carefully. The main guy went to jail for 2 years for stealing $16 million, which is a good trade-off for a lot of folks. And if you look at it, it's pretty in the script. There wasn't anyone really in there. They weren't doing any services. They just got an address they could claim was a hospice. And then they ran the business claiming people were at home getting services, which they really weren't. What we have learned is there's roughly $3.5 billion of fraud taking place
Dang.
here in Los Angeles in hospice and home care. It's run
This is a hospice center, by the way. Like, like a medical center. Look behind him. It looks like a freaking crack house. What is this?
quite a bit of it by the Russian Armenian mafia. You notice the lettering and language behind me is of that dialect. And it also highlights the fact that this is an organized crime, mafia
Oh, this is Armenian, by the way. This isn't Mexican. This is Armenian. This is an Armenian scam going on in LA, by the way. I forgot to say that in the beginning.
deal where you've got folks who have systemically recruited doctors to write false prescriptions. You know, hundreds of doctors participating. They've got 100,000 patients who they've tricked or paid to give them their beneficiary numbers so they can perpetuate the fraud. And then the criminals are just running the whole organization and quickly scurrying away when law enforcement does get around to prosecuting them. Unfortunately, in California, there has not been a lot of attention on these problems. That's going to change. The U.S. Attorney, the FBI, everyone's now focused on the fact that in this state, which has about $30 billion worth of home and community-based services, most of it might be fraudulent. Those are big numbers, and we're taking it seriously.
Anything that Democrats touch, there's always going to be fraud behind it, by the way. Like, I know there's Republicans that do fraud too. It just, from what we see and with our eyes and what we hear, not from the media, from going and doing our own research, right? There is always fraud when there's Democrats running it. It's just crazy. Why is there always fraud? Why is that? Why is there always frauds going on when a Democrat's in control? And why do these people keep on voting for these fraudsters? I don't understand. And it's like not even, oh, this is the government's money. This is your tax money. And they don't care. A lot of people don't even care.
California is already paying back $1.6 billion that they previously charged to the federal government for healthcare services given to illegal immigrants. But they have a much bigger fraud problem that hurts American citizens. So I've instructed Governor Newsom to produce within the next 3 weeks a comprehensive program integrity action plan to address major fraud in their healthcare system. I'm going to give you 3 examples of embarrassing fraud that Governor Newsom has been seemingly tolerating for years. First, California shares the problems that we are seeing in Minnesota with in-home supportive services. What are these? They include personal care like bathing or grooming, household tasks, cleaning and cooking, shopping, transportation. Now, these are tasks that your family could do for you, but having the government pay has generated some significant cash for unethical people. California spending for these services increased from $8 to $28 billion over the past decade. Why should the federal taxpayer spend 250% more money on California, which is already an affluent state? And this program is still growing by double digits annually. Second, in 2024 alone, spending for home health care in California increased by more than 21%, representing the largest growth rate for any major health category nationwide. The number of home health agencies in California almost doubled between 2019 and 24. LA County alone is accounting for $1.4 billion, representing almost 9% of total fee-for-service home health spending for the entire country, though it just has 2% of the national enrollment. That's 5 times more than expected LA Home Health. I don't get it. They're taking home money that other agencies nationwide could use, so fewer Americans can get access to these vital services. LA County's corrupt practices are hurting innocent seniors outside of Southern California. Finally, LA County should be ashamed of the 2022 California State Auditor Report, showing that their number of hospice agencies increased by 1,500% since 2010. Yes, you heard that right, 1,500%. That exceeds the 40% increase in the senior population during that same period. How can you defend a 7-fold increase in hospice, especially since so many of these charlatans report 100% survival for supposedly terminally ill patients? I'm hearing horror stories from seniors duped by these fraudsters because California is not stopping these criminals. Governor Newsom, the clock is ticking on the deadline for your comprehensive program integrity action plan. Start saving American lives instead of enabling criminals.
So this is why Newsom wants to keep these illegal immigrants in the country. He is using them as pawns to launder money. And it's happening all over the country with all these Democratic leaders. I don't understand why these people aren't in jail, and they probably will never get put in jail. The only thing that could happen to him is he'll lose his political career. That's not good enough. And these Democrats are just going to continue to do it. I just don't understand why we tolerate this as citizens. Why do we tolerate this? Why am I giving 20% of my check to illegal immigrants that don't even do nothing for this state, that does nothing for this country? It's crazy. And it just irks me so much that nothing will happen to Newsom. He can just wipe his hands clean because he can say, oh, I didn't know that this was going on, like Tim Walz, acting like a complete buffoon in front of Trump when he was talking to him. So, good for Dr. Oz. He's totally exposing the scam. And he's a doctor too, so he understands more about this medical stuff than we do. He knows that if there is a, what do you say, 250%? 1,500% since 2010. And there's apparently what they tell us is an overpopulation problem. If this was true, you would go to downtown LA and there'd be like nobody there. Everybody would be dying left and right. This is crazy, wild fraud. And we're sitting there just taking it. The taxpayers are taking it. You walk down to the white liberal down in downtown Sacramento, they'll be happy about it. Like, oh, okay, cool. We deserve it. So I don't want to give up on California too easily and my Californians. I feel like that a lot of voter fraud is happening. And I think that we need to pass the SAVE Act. That's something that needs to be a #1 priority. And I'm telling you, if there's a mandatory law that you have to show your ID to vote, I guarantee California will flip red. That's why Newsom's freaking out. All these Democrats in California are freaking out. They're afraid that their jobs are on the line because, yeah, they might not go to jail, but they'll lose their political power. And I feel like that's even worse for them because knowing that they failed and they lost their power. I don't know, but what do you guys think about this? I just think that this is a big slap in the face for anybody who lives in California, including myself. You know, you think your tax money is going to help stuff, and it's not. For example, there was a big scandal when it came to gas prices when they started putting taxes on gas, and they said it was for the roads. People got pissed off. Enough people got pissed off, and look, if you go around California now, you'll see a lot of roads getting fixed. They take forever because I think that construction itself is a scam in California. Maybe I can make a video about that. But if you go down the roads, you see these roads being fixed because Californians were pressuring Newsom. Where is our money going for these gas taxes? Now our roads look a little bit nicer. But that's just a tip of the iceberg right there. Anyway, go ahead and leave your thoughts in the comments below. Go ahead and like the video if you liked it. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're new. Go ahead and hype up the video. Let people know that Dr. Oz, a freaking doctor, exposed Newsom, just like Nick Shirley, a YouTuber, exposed Tim Walz. I'll see you guys next video.